Ooh. Have we started?
Good morning. I think we've started.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Welcome.
counting. Hello.
Welcome to What Have I Just Read with Michael, with Malcolm.
And with the jingle.
Right. And
Excellent. Fascinating. Hosea
2, chapter 2.
18 in the beginning of chapter 3, right?
Yes.
With that amazing thing. So, what, is there a sort of restoration going on here? It seems everything seems to be looking a bit better.
There is. I'm not sure whether we've talked about Hosea so far in this, but what happens in the first 2 chapters of Hosea is God tells Hosea to marry this woman who he does and he loves, but she goes off, she betrays him, and then God says to him, go and bring her back and love her.
Okay.
And so basically that's the main story, and of course he's having to live out what God experiences in his relationship with Israel.
Right.
God loves the people of Israel. He finds her as a child, she grows, he marries her, and then she goes off and searches after other gods.
Right.
She gets herself into a mess, and God brings her, and then God goes and woos her again and brings her back.
Oh, that's very interesting.
So it's sort of a lived parable.
Right. So essentially that's that whole second part, the part 3 where it was go love a woman, he's actually talking about his wife.
I think so. I mean, lots of people, if you read commentaries on this, lots of people will say lots of different things. The version I've said is the simplest, probably.
Okay.
It may not be the right one, but it's the simplest, and it does seem to make sense.
A lot of sense. It's actually very good. But and also, there are references, are these people here, is that Lo Ruhamah, Lo Ami, are they their children?
That's right, they have 3 children. They have Jezreel, he says, because he says on Jezreel I will defeat them. He says Lo Ami, which means you are not my people. Lo Ruhamah means another, I will not show mercy, I think. And then basically he changes those names.
Right.
He says, and now you are not my people, you will become my people. I will not have mercy, I will show mercy. And Jezreel will become a place of blessing, not a place of curse.
Oh, gosh.
And this bit at the end, I will say to Lo Ami, you are my people, and you shall say, you are my God. That phrase, you are my people, I am your God, is the great covenant phrase, the great promise that God gives the people of Israel. And you'll find it in lots of different writings where God says, I am your God. I will be your God, and you will be my people.
It's strange. I hadn't realised quite so much. We're reading a lot of these things in the Old Testament. There's a lot of, I might be mistaken, but it seems there are a lot of references where God seems to be talking about, there is the my people, which is the Israel. We've always thought about everything happening in the Old Testament, or most of it anyway, all about the kingdom of Israel. There's a lot of reference about people who are not my people, kind of being part of God's people. Where he's saying, actually, it's not a closed, somehow not quite so much a closed club.
And at the door, and that God chose the people of Israel to be his people, so that he could bring blessing to all people.
Exactly, and then actually they're a doorway, in a way, the door is open.
Yeah, they're a doorway, they're the means by which. Somebody said, I found this very helpful, God never chooses A instead of B. He chooses A for the sake of B.
Oh, wow. I love that.
So that's really good, actually.
That is great, isn't it? Wow, because you get a real sense of that here, that you are my people. Wow, amazing. Gosh.
And then 1 Corinthians 9, which is also quite complicated.
Yeah, great readings. Amazing. That thing of being I am all things to all people, doesn't that pop up somewhere a lot?
It does, but this is probably the passage where it does most. But yes, he identifies with them. So to the Jews who are under the law, he becomes under the law. To Gentiles without the law, he becomes without the law, but he says he's under the law of Christ. But his big driving passion is so that people will be saved. So that people will come to know. Jesus.
But it's very interesting. He's a sort of chameleon of a sort. He's sort of changing in a way in order to fit in, and
And it's about, I mean, people might say, well, he's being inconsistent, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
If he's not eating pork when he's with the Jews, and he's eating pork when he's with the Gentiles, you
Right.
know. But the point is that for Paul, he was always said eating pork or not eating pork is really
Not the point.
Is not the point.
Right.
And it's because he's got this absolute central commitment to the gospel of Jesus Christ crucified, who's risen and Lord. Because he's got this absolute commitment, all this sort of other stuff is less important for him.
Right.
But if it's going to put people off, he's not going to do it.
Right. But it's interesting, isn't it? Because it's always being respectful to them and their traditions and stuff. Don't sort of barge in.
Yeah.
If they don't eat pork, then don't eat pork.
Yeah. Yes.
If they,
Exactly. If you're and there's this last line, this last bit, you know, run in such a way, athletes exercise self-control. So I do not run aimlessly, but I punish my body and enslave it, so that after proclaiming to others, I myself should not be disqualified. I mean, Paul has his absolute confidence in God and in God's choices that God has chosen him. But at the same, not God has chosen him, but that God will keep, well, God has chosen him, but God will keep him and hold him. But at the same time, we have that responsibility as well.
Because it's quite interesting. It's quite confusing because he says in the race everyone competes, only with one gets the prize. So he says, run in such a way that you may win it. But actually, the thing you win is a perishable garland. But we
go for an imperishable garland.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So the race I'm in is.
The race that we're in is one where the prize, it's not something perishable, but
it's something that lasts forever.
Yeah.
Right, amazing.
Lovely.
Incredible, really.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah,
Thank you.
interesting.
And wonderful, have a great day.
Yeah.
And
a great week.
Yes.
Happy Monday.
Hope to see you tomorrow.
Okay, bye. Great readings. Amazing.